Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. It is still the entry-level star crystal optical brain of the Xianyan series, with unlimited brain domains. The captain's driving system is the same as that of the future star of the Cosmos Technology Group. The reason is simple. The cabin driving system modules of the shining star of the Mechanical Empire belong to the relatively sturdy type. To put it simply, it is rough. Far from the sophistication of future stars. The driving experience is not as delicate as that of the future star, and it is more rampant. Zian's fighting style has always been known for its precision and artistic fighting style. Therefore, he needs to operate a more delicate cab and driving system. The sci-fi cab of the future star is very much in line with his wishes. At the same time, Zian also belongs to the kind, when you can't enjoy it, you don't have to care. But under conditions of enjoyment, he is very happy to enjoy it. Therefore, the internal modules of the starship all use the future star. The milky white 240 color memory metal wall full of sci-fi feel will automatically emit a bright but not dazzling milky white halo. Just looking at it makes me feel good. Floors, ceilings, everything. In the living room, this time, because the starship reached the limit of 79.9 meters for the reconnaissance ship. Therefore, Zian very generously used a 4x3 rectangle, with a total of 12 square meters, for the living room, which was installed on the right side of the narrow corridor in the middle of the starship. A living room of 12 square meters is enough for Zian. What's more, it is a company in the universe that specializes in the production of various comfortable spaceships and starship living room parts and modules. All materials are very good. And really comfortable enough. There is also a life support system that keeps the starship at a constant temperature. A small bottle of ultra-concentrated oxygen supply bottle contains ultra-concentrated and ultra-compressed dioxide ions, as well as ultrapolymers such as iron powder and sodium chlorate powder. An oxygen supply bottle the size of a 500 milliliters mineral water bottle, under the oxygen production of the life support system, is enough to provide the entire starship with free oxygen for 10 years. And this is just a relatively low-level, slightly higher-end oxygen supply bottle, which is enough oxygen to manufacture a large starship for 100 years, or even 1,000 years. There is also an oxygen self-circulation production system, which can generate oxygen infinitely. Needless to say, the gravity maintenance system can make people feel like walking on the ground in the space environment. Its more important role is to activate the anti-gravity system when it lands on some planets with high gravity. Let the starship not be affected by any gravitational force, so that there is such a thing as the Roche limit. Internal wiring and materials, ultra-compressed water-ion water generator, balancer, locking radar, detection radar, pull. Wait for everything on the general frame to be selected. Next is the main event dash. For hyperdrives, a pulse engine. Originally, Zian planned to use 2 pulse engines. But after thinking about it, I think it is still unnecessary. The main purpose of the pulse warp engine is to jump over short distances. Even if there are 2 sets, the transition distance and transition speed will not be doubled on the basis of 1, but will only increase the distance and speed by about 30%. And if a pulse jump engine is evolved to the red excellent quality, it will actually increase the distance and speed by almost 30%. Of course, the premise is to evolve in terms of distance and speed. The space for an extra pulse jump engine can be used to hold more ammunition, supplies, or a larger cargo hold. Hyperdrive is necessary. From the original 2 units on the Brilliant to the current 4 units. The quality has evolved to red excellence, and by the best one at this stage now. Basically, he runs so fast that ordinary starships don't want to chase him. Or, ordinary starships don't want to run away from him. The engine is still bought from the Universe Technology Group. Cosmos Technology Group is one of the most powerful 7 top forces in the universe. The performance of its products is unquestionable. For Cosmic Science and Technology Group, Expedition Series 4 times the speed of light curvature propulsion engine, enough for the current use. And this series is also the same as the Future Star. 4 times the speed of light curvature propulsion engine. Even the maximum speed of normal navigation is infinitely close to the speed of light. Once hyperdrive is activated, that is, it enters into the state of curvature propulsion, it will far exceed the top speed of ordinary starships. Otherwise, why do you think future stars are so expensive but so sought after? The Pulse engine is also from the Expedition series of the Universe Technology Group. Then there are main guns, secondary guns, and anti-aircraft guns. In the reconnaissance ship stage, Zian didn't even think about building a missile launcher. There is absolutely no need for that. If you want to install it, you have to wait for the installation of that kind of large-scale missile launch chamber in the future. The kind of thing that can blow up half a city with one missile. That's cool. Main guns, secondary guns, anti-aircraft guns. Among them, the main gun adopts the 112 cm caliber pulse gun of the Mechanical Empire Group. Still using the pulse, Zian is very satisfied with the penetration of the pulse cannon. It's still a pulse-penetrating bomb, don't think about it. The secondary gun also belongs to the Mechanical Empire. There are 8 doors in total. Don't ask why, the limit length is 79.9 meters, so the output is bound to explode. Also, because it has a base, it can switch a variety of warheads. This time, nuclear energy is used as the kinetic energy. The secondary muzzle strength is 36 centimeters, and it is equipped with an explosive warhead. The anti-aircraft gun belongs to the Cosmos Technology Group. Anti-aircraft guns need precision, but not so much power. Then there is no doubt that the Universe Technology Group has achieved the ultimate in precision. The Mechanical Empire has achieved the ultimate in power. A total of 4 anti-aircraft guns are equipped. In the case where the main opponents are scout ships and the secondary opponents are frigates, it is enough. STE. It took Zian more than half an hour just to choose large and small parts and modules. It took an hour and a half to purchase various metals and materials for evolution. Total consumption: 28.2 million yuan. Even more expensive than directly buying a rare quality future star. One can imagine how high-end the materials and configuration of Zian's second starship are. Of course, this money will also include the materials that have evolved to the 5th level. Another half-hour passed. These things were all delivered. Xiong'an said hello and left. He is the president of the Association of Solar System Evolutionists, and he is usually very busy. Being able to be with Zian for such a long time is already squeezing the time to the extreme. Soon, only Zian and the second daughter were left in the entire evolution factory. The second daughter watched with great interest. Naturally, this is not the first time they have seen a starship evolve. When their own starship evolved, they also stared at it the whole time. But Zian started from 3.2 and built his own starship. Definitely the first time seeing it. Incomparably curious in the heart. I want to see what kind of starship Zian will evolve into. With the bright pearl, which was evolved from a spaceship, before them, they believed that this starship would undoubtedly be even stronger. Evolution. Officially begin. Without any hesitation. Zian was directly bound with the same style of keel as the shining star, with a length of 79.9 meters and a width of 29.9 meters. Binds the keel. Only then can the following evolution begin. Soon. The keel is successfully bound. The long-lost connection has resurfaced in my heart. And feel it carefully. Sure enough, there was no slight decrease in fit. It is exactly the same as when you first bound the brilliant number. He gave a silly grin. Immediately started to get busy. Using the cranes in the evolution factory, the 8,000-ton hull armor was installed on the keel. Don't look at the scary weight, it's because Zian bought these things. Because of their high quality and high density, the weight is of course heavier. Just like the same volume of cotton and the same volume of steel, they must not weigh the same. The same goes for metal to metal. The whole body is made of pure oxygen superalloy. This superalloy is the top secret alloy formula of the Holy Armor group, which has extremely strong defensibility and toughness. It weighs 8,000 tons, which is normal. The keel is heavier. Based on estimates, the installation and evolution of the entire starship has been completed. It is estimated to have reached a terrifying 30,000 tons. Even the previous Brilliant, due to subsequent multiple evolutions, swallowed a large amount of various metals, so that the density increased greatly. Its weight at the third stage also exceeded 10,000 tons. Of course, this little weight, in front of today's power system, light as a feather. The hull is installed, the evolution value is consumed, and the fusion evolution begins. It took 6 to 7 hours to complete the fusion, and the next step is to route the internal wiring. 8 days in a row. The second daughter witnessed an extremely cool starship, from the keel to a complete starship. Watching each part blend just right in a certain area. Seeing the empty areas being utilized properly by Zian, 02 did not cause the slightest waste of internal space. The second daughter's eyes were full of admiration. Including the cold crabapple, everyone was amazed by it. He found out. Zian, it shouldn't be called a dazzling evildoer at all. Instead, call it an artist. Because when he was in Star Wars, he operated one by one, such as violent art. At this time, when the starship is evolving, the evolution of each item is orderly and without panic. Suddenly, a powerful starship took shape in Zian's hands. Also like an artist on the evolutionary side. Come 8 days. Zian has been evolving and evolving. Finally, today, this starship is officially completed. Build the starship bit by bit with your own hands. In a true sense, it is a unique and exclusive starship in the universe. The second daughter was fascinated by watching. The starship is formed as a whole. The next evolution is easy. Just 7 days. Zian evolved the starship to Tier 3 at once. And it is the one with excellent quality, all in red. It is still true that even an alloy screw is red and of excellent quality. After the third step, continue to the fourth step. Only by entering the fourth level can Zian's current creatures be able to break through. Only then can we continue to absorb bioenergy. Bioenergy and starships complement each other. Bioenergy, without a starship, cannot break through the bottleneck. Same. The starship does not have full bioenergy and cannot evolve to the next step. It's useless no matter how much evolution you have. The fourth level evolution lasted for 7 full days. After all, it is from low level to intermediate level. After evolution is complete, Zian started frantically converting wealth value into bioenergy. He is now a 4th grade warrior. The biological energy of a 4th level warrior is at full value, which is 280, he did the math. Up to 9 days. It will reach full value. 9 days later. There are still about 10 days left before the college entrance examination. Just right. Enough for Zian to evolve the starship to the 5th level. The next few days. Zian enters a Star Wars simulation once a day. Get familiar with the capabilities and combat modes of this latest starship. Have to say, this starship is really powerful in all aspects. Let's put it that way. Now the Zian Tier 4 reconnaissance ship has already killed a Zerg Tier 3 biological frigate, and there is not much damage to itself. Except Star Wars simulation. Then just enter one of the simulated worlds at will. But this time it's not about going to fight or anything like that. Instead, learn liberal arts knowledge. Zian discovered a small function of the system. It means that the data in reality can be imprinted into the simulated world of the system. Then, learn various knowledge contents for a whole year. When I was young, I simulated Star Wars once a day, and then learned once. Most of the time, I simulate Star Wars once a day, and then learn it 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times. That is, the amount of knowledge learned in one day is equivalent to 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 armies. Only when the mental strength is really overwhelmed will I have a good night's sleep. Star Wars, learn. Finally, individual battles. It is also a part of the college entrance examination. However, in personal combat, Zian believes that there is no need to learn too much. Because of personal battles, Zian is very competent in himself. Mainly Star Wars and liberal arts. Down these days, is equivalent to. Zian fought for 9 years. I have been learning liberal arts knowledge for 24 years. 24 years of liberal arts knowledge learning. Plus Zian is very easy to learn by himself. Over the past 24 years, Zian has even mastered all the knowledge he learned during college. That is to say, even if Zian is in a university now, his liberal arts knowledge reserves are all first class. Zian still feels like it's not enough. He can still learn. This world is due to the large population base. There are too many geniuses. In particular, there are countless geniuses in the liberal arts. I want to really get the first place in all aspects. Still have to learn. However, today is definitely not enough. Because his biological energy, today, has finally reached the 280 points of the full value state of a 4th rank fighter. And today, the second daughter never came again. Haitang took Qin Fuyue to hunt pirates. In fact, Qin Fuyue should have left a long time ago. Her grades in the special entrance examination were not bad. But because of Zian, she didn't follow the teacher from that school. Speaking of Qin Fuyue, she did not choose Shenzhou Academy. Because her dream school is the 6th ranked Dawn Starship Academy. She planned to wait for Zian to finish his college entrance examination before leaving. Of course, there is another reason. I want to see if I can cultivate to the full 280 points of biological energy during this period of time. The evolution value is enough. In this way, I want to ask Zian to evolve her starship personally. After seeing the data of Zian's starship evolution with my own eyes, she clenched her fists and made up her mind. Even Haitang swallowed her saliva and asked with bright eyes, "Can Zian evolve for her too?" Zian couldn't laugh or cry. "You are such a majestic cruiser captain, let me, a quasi-evolutionist who has not yet taken the registered evolutionary exam, give you a cruiser captain to evolve a starship? Am I crazy, or are you crazy?" A little too much for him. Without the 2 daughters to take care of, without Qin Fuyue 557 is serving tea and water, and buying food for Zian. Zian has returned to the old rough man state. The hair is not washed either. I don't even take a shower. I study starship evolution there every day, and whenever I have time, I go to the model world to learn knowledge. Live like a savage. And today, that is, the day before the college entrance examination, this brand new starship, this starship that has evolved to a Tier 5 scout ship, is finally out of the oven. The domineering is the appearance, the ferocious barrel, the thick armor, the violent engine. Everything. It's also eye-catching. Haven't really started yet. It brought an unparalleled sense of oppression. The second daughter, who had rushed back this morning, was staring at the starship in a daze at this moment, her eyes revealing obsession. For biological captains, nothing attracts them more than a starship with terrifying performance. And without a doubt, Zian's starship. The starship he designed himself. It's a super monster. And Zian. I also plan to re-register this starship now. The starship has to be registered so that the territory of the human race can travel smoothly. Otherwise, they belong to black households like the starships of the interstellar pirates. Various inconveniences. The name of the starship was also thought of. Or, he didn't think of other names at all. Because his starship, whether it is the first one or the second one now, will only have one name. Brilliant number, inside the new brilliant. Su Zian, Qin Fuyue, and Hai Tang were all there. The appearance of the brand new Brilliant is painted in milky white and light blue, which looks very sci-fi. In the design simulation of the system, there is a teaching. The design is not only about the rationality and performance of the design, but also its visual impact that is deeply shocking at first glance. The truly sophisticated design, just the appearance, makes the enemy daunting. This is the original words of system teaching. Su Zian put a lot of effort into this aspect. So, no matter from the inside to the outside, the Brilliance looks mighty and domineering, yet beautiful. This is also the first time they have seriously wandered inside the Brilliant after the Brilliant has evolved. Girls like beautiful things. Qin Fuyue saw that pair of deer's almond eyes were shining. Su Zian, when my Huiyue evolves, you have to help me make it look so good. Qin Fuyue pointed her index finger like a green onion to the simple and sci-fi style decoration of the Brilliant, and said crisply. Su Zian said with a smile, "No problem, you just need to pay enough money. As long as you give enough money, even if it is to inlay a layer of fluorescent pyroxene on your starship." Fluorescent pyroxene. It is a very rare ore in the universe. There is no special effect. The only thing is that it looks good. Rare and beautiful, that is the fatal point of girls. The price is also extremely expensive, the same as the earth or gold in the 21st century. Calculated in grams. Qin Fuyue rolled her eyes. "I'm not that rich." "Just decorate it like you are." Su Zian nodded with a smile. Begonia next to him didn't say much, just stared at Su Zian and said, "Hurry up and improve your evolution level for me." "I don't care, when my Kraken evolves into a battleship, you must be able to evolve it for me." Su Zian spread his hands. After. The second daughter looked at the overall data of the Brilliant. That piece of bright red has additional features. There are 3 characteristics under every red excellent quality component. Like the main gun. Feature 1, penetration increased by 15%, Feature 2, penetration increased by 15%, Feature 3, penetration increased by 15%, yes. Su Zian increased the penetrating power of his cannon's main gun. Evolution focuses on penetrating power. And characteristics can also be superimposed. 3 properties add up. This red main gun of excellent quality is equivalent to a 45% increase in penetration. How terrifying. The secondary guns are all focused on the evolution of explosive power. 3 explosive powers increased by 15%. Red excellence. Adding the 3 characteristics together, the truth is too outrageous. The key is all red. The key is when all attributes have reached the red excellence. The overall characteristics of the Brilliant also appeared. The overall quality of the starship also has its own characteristics. However, the appearance of the overall characteristics of the starship is more difficult. The most difficult thing is to keep the quality of all parts consistent. Neither high nor low. Brilliant number. Features, overall defense boost, Feature 2, overall defense increased by 15%, Feature 3, overall, no doubt. All are 3 defense increases. That is to say, the overall defense of the Brilliant. As large as the hull armor and core armor. As small as a wire. Defense power has increased by 40% in total. What is this concept? And this is also the reason why the candy in front was able to persist for so long under the fierce attack of an assault ship. A reconnaissance ship of average quality encountered an assault ship. For example, low quality or ordinary quality reconnaissance ships. Let's put it that way. If more than 3 shots failed to explode, the assault ship that was attacked was too rubbish. If I can pilot this Brilliant, I feel like I can single out a frigate. Qin Fuyue was so envious. Su Zian's brand new Brilliant. The attribute performance is really too powerful. Subsequent registration is relatively simple. Su Zian's identity has been updated again. Identity that. Become the captain of a Tier 5 biological reconnaissance ship. Then there is the change in the account balance. The rest are the same. The exam will start tomorrow. This college entrance exam will last for half a month. Before Haitang left the brilliant ship, she said softly, "It's still the same sentence. I look forward to your performance." Zian said with a smile, "Okay, actually, I am also looking forward to my performance." Qin Fuyue clenched her small fists and made a cheering gesture, just like before the special recruitment exam started that day. "Keep it up." "I will." The next day, the long-awaited college entrance examination finally started. And Zian took the college entrance examination, this time under the name of Lake City Federal No. 7 Middle School. Lake City Federal No. 7 Middle School is an ordinary public middle school. The most powerful genius seems to be just a Tier 2 biological captain. Zian applied to join and was approved immediately without even thinking about it. This is the difference between public schools and private schools. Public school. I didn't dare to make any fools out of it. Especially for a genius like Zian, who has a great reputation in the solar system. The location of the college entrance examination is at No. 7 Middle School. The first few days, they are all liberal arts exams, and the test is not the way it used to be. The equipment provided by the Federation is used to directly enter the special examination room of the virtual metaverse. Completely cut off any possibility of cheating. Everyone is in a separate space. Plagiarism or something is even less likely to exist. The virtual metaverse is very, very real. Here, you can even experience the real taste. Is there some old snakeskin that wants to be crooked? Yes, the virtual metaverse does have that kind of thing between men and women, and it does have the most realistic touch. But the reason why human society and human civilization can always have order is because all immoral behaviors are killed in the cradle. After all, when this function is turned on, there are countless things about green hats. And you can't find it at all. Also, is this a case of cheating? Therefore, in order to thoroughly regulate human immoral behavior, in order to completely avoid family conflicts, don't talk about doing that kind of thing. Even the moment of physical contact between a man and a woman, they will be bounced away directly. Oh, promise is good, between man and man, woman and woman. That's up to you. Anyway, the opposite sex does not work. Zian used to often enter the virtual metaverse. He came in mainly to learn the knowledge of evolution and Star Wars. Since the system was turned on, it has never been in again. Take an exam. In progress. In a completely enclosed milky white room. There is only one chair. All the test questions, all virtual placements are suspended around. Zian just glanced and smiled. Very good. Plenary session. And it's all the kind of meeting that is integrated, there is nothing to hesitate about. If the answer is helpful, it's just a whirlwind of thoughts. One by one, the answers emerged below the questions. 89, you even need to move your brain to answer the questions. This is true for deletions and so on. Cosmos interstellar era is a real. Technology has changed everything. The previous liberal arts test passed by in a flash. In the middle is the personal combat effectiveness assessment. Not to mention this. The exam is still conducted in the virtual metaverse. The opponents are all humans and machines. But very powerful. But in front of Zian, it seems that it is not enough. The opponent starts from a first-grade warrior. Zian held the battle in his hand, and all the fighters up to the 9th rank in front of him were stabbed one at a time. After waiting for the first-rank warrior, it finally became a bit more difficult. That's all. So when Zian killed a 7th-rank general at the cost of being seriously injured, and after fighting dozens of rounds with the 8th-grade warrior before he was killed and resurrected as a pile of data. In fact, the rankings in the personal combat effectiveness assessment of this college entrance examination have become settled. If this doesn't make it number 1, Zian believes that unless the other party also has a system. After all, in the virtual metaverse, except for taste, all other senses are prohibited. The reason for prohibiting pain is that many people used to kill people inside. Then many people were brain dead. Because the existence of pain will deceive your brain. Therefore, apart from taste, there is no such thing as pain. That is to say, in the virtual metaverse, you can even conduct personal combat training. There is no way it can compare to Zian's battle simulation in the system. The personal battle assessment is over. For 90, now comes the final link, which is also the most important link. Star Wars. Star Wars is the most important. Naturally, we must start from actual combat. The actual battlefield in the solar system was changed to a prison star in another galaxy because of the accident that occurred last time. After traveling for almost a day, the exam started directly the next day. The number of people who took the college entrance examination far exceeds the number of people who took the special recruitment exam. So the number of enemies is also greater. The number of Tier 7 mechanical reconnaissance ships alone has increased to 10. There is no doubt that this is an absolute disaster for ordinary candidates. For Zian. There's nothing better than this. More. It means the higher points you can get in the end. Also from this day on. These candidates were at the same time and place as Zian. It can be said to be the most painful and unforgettable experience in the entire Earth Federation. Demon King. They met a real big devil. When Zian drove his brilliant ship on a rampage on the prison planet. After seeing Zian kill a Tier 7 mechanical reconnaissance ship with just a few shots. How far do all the candidates run? Seeing the traces of the act from a distance, he turned the power to maximum to escape. Even when they were about to capture a certain mechanical reconnaissance ship, they ran away without hesitation. In fact, Zian had no intention of killing the candidates and earning evolution points. After all, that kind of behavior is really hateful. Of course, if someone takes the initiative to provoke him, then he couldn't wait to do it. It is a pity. After all, mentally retarded people only account for a very small minority of the entire human population, and most people are in the category of normal people. Monitoring room. Those examiners, as well as the senior officials and teachers of various schools. Everyone looked at each other. Zian. Of course they know. The name of the dazzling evildoer is still like thunder in my ears. In the special recruitment exam almost 2 months ago, Zian's performance was really astonishing. He was definitely one of the 10 most horrifying talents in all these years. Even in the end, with a weak body, he killed an assault ship. What a feat, even if there was another assault ship doing damage at that time. DJ. It's amazing enough. Unfortunately, God is jealous of talents. It was also that time that the brilliance became no longer dazzling. The monster becomes no longer a genius. The shackles of the second binding limit all his future potential. Countless people feel sorry for this. Later, it was revealed that he was a member of the Evolutionary Association, which once again detonated everyone. But now, what did they see? Level 5. What the hell are you telling me? This Nima is a secondary binding? What the hell are you telling me? This dam is because her talent has been imprisoned. If you are really imprisoned, to what extent is Natamiao's real talent against the sky? In the case of being imprisoned, no one dares to fight for one person, one ship, and listed candidates. One person, one ship, slaughtering prisoners is like slaughtering pigs and dogs. One person, one ship, is rampant, even those vicious foreign prisoners and human traitors trembled and fled. Not even thinking about fighting. One person, one ship, start hunting all over the planet. This. I don't know if there will be no successors. But at least, the Earth Federation has existed for so many years, since the college entrance examination in this way, never had. Even on the entire planet, only the roar of cannonballs can be heard. Because whenever there is movement from other places, Like an ancient evil beast that smelled blood, the brilliant rushed over immediately. Although I have never taken the initiative to attack candidates. But how can the candidates provoke such a big devil? One by one they fled trembling and terrified. Then, hiding, not daring to show his face again. Mechanical starships for those prisoners. I also know that there is such a super devil queen. One by one, they all hid. So that it turned into the weirdest college entrance examination event. Wait until the 4th day. The whole planet. There is really only one starship like the Brilliance floating around. The rest, regardless of candidates or prisoners, all hid. There was even an extremely ridiculous scene. In order to hide, a candidate starship and a prisoner starship were actually hiding in the same place at the same time. But neither of them touched each other. Just hide. The candidates are afraid that Zian, the big devil, will blow up their starship. The fact that the bright monster loves to blow up the starships of the candidates has been spread as early as the special recruitment examination. Prisoner's idea is simpler. It wasn't a trivial matter like a starship being blown up, but people were being blown up. It's a fool to go out and die. You were so stupid that you attacked the candidate next to you and attracted the devil. The 7th day. It is also the last day for the Star Wars assessment and the entire college entrance examination process. Monitoring room. Deathly silence. Only in the monitoring screen. A starship full of science fiction, roaming freely. Next to it, a points ranking list is displayed. On the leaderboard, a huge and dazzling name, so bright. 1. Zian 19001. 7 days. 19,001 points. If I remember correctly. In the last session, the points for the top scorers in the Federal College Entrance Examination across the globe were 13784, and the other side. I awakened to bioenergy at the age of 13. When he took the college entrance examination at the age of 17, he was already a Tier 8 scout ship. Zian. It was first awakened and first bound about 3 months ago. About a month and a half ago, at level 3, after killing an assault ship, the starship fell. Then binded a second time. A month and a half later. Level 5. The college entrance examination is over. In this day and age, it doesn't take long for the college entrance examination results to be released. That is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The achievements of the entire Earth Federation will be displayed uniformly. City number 1, star number 1, constant number 1, department number 1, or national number 1. Zian drove the Brilliance and left directly as soon as the Star Wars assessment was over. I didn't go back to the exam waiting room. Because he knows. At this moment, there will definitely be many people looking for me. Zian is not interested in any of them. On the first day of the truce, his communicator started ringing like crazy. It was not until strangers were set up to reject calls that they became quiet. He suddenly remembered a sentence said by a certain star in the 21st century. When you are strong, you are surrounded by good people. Think about it at this time. This ancestral star from hundreds of thousands of years ago seems to have deep experience before he can say such a thing. Because only after experiencing real ups and downs and gaps, in order to truly understand the true meaning of this sentence. Zian returned to his home. Fall down and go to sleep. These days, he is designing the brilliant and evolving the brilliant, and he also simulates Star Wars once a day and studies many times a day. In the end, I took so many days of college entrance examination. Mental power can be said to have reached the final limit. He doesn't want to think about anything now, he just wants to sleep well. The list is released at 8 o'clock, but at 6 o'clock in the morning, many people are already watching. Among them were Qin Fuyue and Haitang. Qin Fuyue was purely worried about Zian's grades, even if reason told her that Zian would definitely get a very good grade in the exam. But it is inevitable to worry. Haitang also had the same meaning, but she wanted to see Su Zian's specific results. Tate. Only then can she have more confidence and better ability to negotiate with the school and get the best conditions for Su Zian. I hope you don't let me down. Haitang's eyes flashed. The city champion or even the star champion may not be very popular, but as long as there is a constant champion, that is, the champion of the star system, she will be able to obtain very good conditions for Su Zian, which will never be any worse than the admissions treatment. As for the number one scholar in the series, that is, the number one scholar of the great galaxy, I can't even think about it. How many candidates does a large galaxy have? How many candidates does the Milky Way have to have? As for the final national champion. Thinking of this, Haitang shook her head and smiled. Let's put it that way, but Fan Su Zian won the national champion. She's not even needed anymore. The principal of their Shenzhou Academy will personally offer the best conditions and invite Su Zian. Special recruitment exams are just special recruitment exams. It is just a kind of talent filter, which can enter the school without taking the exam and obtain specialized training. But the weight of the number one pick is only higher than that of the enrollment. Because of the real college entrance examination, all subjects are conducted simultaneously. You must get high scores in all subjects. The top scorer in the college entrance examination is the number one in all subjects. Either number one in the city, or number one on the planet, or number one in the galaxy. The special enrollment may just be because they are particularly talented in Star Wars. After all, in this era, Star Wars is the theme. For example, that Jean Lusha, he joined the Federal Military Academy with the second grade in Star Wars, but you really asked him to take the college entrance examination? Apart from the fact that his Star Wars scores will definitely be very high, the rest basically don't expect to get too high a score. One is that he has high Star Wars talent. One is so omnipotent. So, if Su Zian can really get a high score this time. Actually, what a blessing in disguise. Time passed slowly. As the time approached, Qin Fuyue's almond-shaped eyes blinked much less frequently. Finally, it's 8 o'clock exactly when the human race in the universe unifies. The Earth's revolution time. I don't know what time it is, but it's bright in Lake City anyway. After all, the time is different in every region on the Earth, and there is no way to unify the time. In this era, everything follows the unified time of the universe and the human race. Accompanied by the Earth Federation College Entrance Examination list, flashed. You can see that the list that was blank just now is instantly filled with countless names and the information behind them. Qin Fuyue immediately opened her big eyes and began to search for Su Zian's name. While searching, she kept mumbling in her little mouth. Where is it? Where is it? Why are there so many people with names? Oh, it's so hard to find Sister Haitang. Please help me find her. There are too many names, it's so difficult. Sister Haitang? As Qin Meiyue spoke, she noticed something was wrong with Haitang next to her. Because I had been talking for a long time. If it was normal, Sister Haitang would have slapped her head angrily if she kept talking like this. I kept mumbling for a long time today, but Haitang still didn't make any move. Qin Fuyue turned around in confusion. What he saw was Haitang's expression of silence and confusion. In doubt, he followed Haitang's gaze and looked up at the top of the list. Top of the list. Only one name will be highlighted. That is the name of the top pick in the country. This is customary. 0. Asking for flowers. Qin Fuyue mainly looked at Su Zian's position, so she didn't take a look at the national champion who was highlighted at the top. At this time, Qin Fuyue looked at it with confusion. When I saw it for the first time, I trembled suddenly. The small mouth gradually grows bigger. Earth Federation College Entrance Examination List. 1. National Champion, Su Zian, Liberal Arts, 1,201 points, full score is 1200, Individual Battle, 1,201 points, full score 1200, Star Wars, 1,201 points, out of 1200, total, 3,603 points, total score 3,600, explanation, because Zian, the national champion, has a novel and clear way of answering questions. According to the detection of intelligent optical brain, Zian's problem-solving methods far exceed the knowledge reserves of regular college entrance examination candidates. An additional 1 point will be awarded, explanation, because Zian, the national champion, has strong personal combat strength. According to the detection of intelligent optical brain, Zian's personal combat strength far exceeds his current level, and an extra 1 point is awarded, 0. Explanation, because of Zian, the national champion, the strength of Star Wars is extremely good. According to the detection of intelligent optical computer, Zian's Star Wars points have never been higher than all candidates in this year and the previous ones. 1 point reward, Qin Fuyue was stunned. She usually talked endlessly, but at this moment, it's like the mute button has been pressed. Even breathing seemed to have stopped for an instant. Beside Haitong's autumn-like eyes became brighter and brighter. He stood up without hesitation, walked out, and clicked on the optical watch. You need to contact the school immediately. Immediately go to the school to confirm the various benefits for Zian to join the Chinese Academy of Sciences. She is afraid. She was afraid that Zian's unprecedented top scorer in the college entrance examination would come out. Countless colleges will find Zian by then. Among them, there will definitely be the Federation Imperial City Starship Academy. She was afraid that Zian would hesitate. Although based on her current understanding of Zian, this possibility is almost 0. But what if? What if the conditions offered by the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy are better? No. Absolutely not. At the same time, she was also filled with joy. Fortunately, it is precisely because of the short-sightedness and prejudice of the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy, as well as its non-existent tolerance. Zian had no idea about it at all. But, 10,000. No more hesitation. Immediately, he dialed the principal's communicator. And at the same time, the entire Lake City. The whole Earth. The entire solar system. The entire galaxy. The entire Earth Federation. All boiled with knives. The entire solar system, regardless of ordinary people or captains. Or the principals and teachers of various schools. Everyone was stunned at the moment. The 4 big characters of the national #1 scholar are so conspicuous and eye-catching. And the total score exceeding 3,600 shocked everyone even more. Full marks. In the case of full marks, there are 3 more points. What kind of terrifying result must this be? So much so that the intelligent optical brain gave extra points? The most important thing is full score. Liberal arts, but there are many subjects, such as cosmos and astronomy, the history and development history of the universe group, the origin of bioenergy, and anyway. In these subjects, all the full marks have been increased. The same goes for personal battles. Not to mention an unprecedented 19,001 points. And the combat performance is too prominent and too powerful. As a result, the intelligent optical brain not only gave a full score in this respect, but also added 1.843 times. Is there anything more outrageous than this? Although it feels pretty outrageous, but no one doubts the fairness and impartiality of the exam. Because the whole process is reviewed by the intelligent optical brain. Not through half manpower. Absolutely fair and just. It is also because of the absolute fairness and justice that it is the most amazing and incredible. Bright evildoer. The title given to Zian by the media. Sure enough, there is nothing wrong with it. Really. Shining like a super monster. Ding ding ding. Ding ding ding. Zian was sleeping comfortably when the doorbell woke him up. The doorbell kept ringing crazily. Opening his eyes in a daze, Zian yawned and raised his wrist. On the optical brain watch, the situation captured by the camera at the door was displayed instantly. I saw a large group of reporters with long guns and cannons blocking the door of my house, and they were frantically ringing their doorbell. Not waiting for Zian to respond. Suddenly the optical brain communicator rang. After seeing the caller's name clearly, Zian raised his eyebrows. He Shuangsong. Interesting, this is really interesting. However, he forgot to blacklist him. He smiled lightly, but didn't hang up. Connected. Haha, Zian, congratulations. This really gave me a big surprise. I didn't expect Zian to kill the enemy bravely last time, and the starship and the enemy died together. How could it rise again in such a short period of time? Not only has it risen, but it has actually risen to a higher level. This time, with unprecedented achievements, it won the national champion in one fell swoop. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Oh, by the way, the senior management of our college has just clearly informed me that we must solemnly invite you, Zian, to our college. Student Zian also likes our college very much, so when do you have time to come over? Or I can pick you up. He Xuansong's hearty smile came from the communicator, and the voice was warm and friendly, just like the first time we met. Zian laughed. Thank you, recruiter, but I have already decided to join the Shenzhou Academy. The threshold of your institution is too high, and I tend to stumble. I'm afraid that if I stumble, I won't be able to stand up. I still want to stand up straight and be a man, so I'm sorry. The voice on the other side froze. Immediately, he hurriedly apologized and said with a smile, I, as well as the senior management of the Starfleet Academy of the Federal Imperial City, should apologize to you, student Zian. Actually, last time I was too. He didn't finish his sentence. Zian interrupted unceremoniously, recruiter can't you hear that I just want to reject you? Yes. I admit that your Federation Emperor City Starship Academy's comprehensive strength is the best in the Federation, but so what? In the entire universe, there are countless academies that are stronger and more powerful than the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy. Although I like the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy, I am very grateful for your choice and performance last time. Glad I didn't join your short-sighted, biased, and intolerant academy. Okay, don't call me anymore, I'm busy. Finished. Hang up the phone directly, the reason why he answered the call. I just want to find an opportunity to say this passage. Does it feel familiar? Yes. This passage was what He Xuansong said to him after he woke up from the coma that day. Call him naive or call him boring. Anyway, Zian felt refreshed now, and even felt that his thoughts had become clearer. Do you really think He Xuansong didn't hold his breath when he said those words? He's not a teenage mutant ninja turtle. He has worked so hard during this time, and his elation is definitely the main reason. People are not frivolous and waste young people. Then frivolous, childish, immature, what to do? Why, you have to laugh. To refuse others without offending others is called maturity. That is indeed mature, but I am upset. So it must be impossible. Zian chuckled. The suppressed emotions that had been in my heart during this period were instantly released. The whole person seemed to relax at this moment. But in the next second, Zian paused as he was about to open the door. After being stunned for a while, he suddenly raised his hand and grabbed his hair suddenly, exclaiming, "Damn it! What did that surname he say just now? I am the #1 scholar in the country?" Zian froze in place. He is confident that his test scores will never be bad. He even went for the national champion. Now that he has really won the national champion, and what does that surnamed he seem to say about the unprecedented national champion? If Zian said in his heart that he was not excited or excited, that would be pure nonsense. Immediately turned on the optical brain again, and retrieved the college entrance examination list this time. On the list, the first place, the one that is super highlighted, is my name. And when Zian saw his score, he himself was stunned. Full marks for all. Full marks are not enough. Plus an extra point. He never thought about this achievement. Am I so awesome now? Zian started the smirk that only he would show when he was alone. No, it should be said that it is a system cowbatch. If it weren't for the simulation space of the system in. If I flatter a horse, I will at most take one solar system champion. Thinking of this, Zian calmed down in an instant when he was bursting with confidence. Self-confidence is a good thing, but it must not develop in the direction of arrogance. He is very self-aware. Everything I have now is the result of my own hard work. I fought crazily in the simulation space, fighting and studying there with mental breakdown. It's all the result of my own hard work. However, without the platform provided by the system, without the systematic and detailed teaching, no matter how hard you work, it is impossible to achieve the present achievement. So, stay calm and keep working hard. Afterwards, Zian was interviewed by media in the solar system. The content of the interview is nothing more than repeated over and over again. When asked about Zian's 3.2, why did he choose Shenzhou University instead of the previous schools? Zian grinned. Actually, my first choice back then was the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy. But it's a pity that my starship exploded at the time, and then the other recruiter said. The Federation Emperor City Starship Academy does not recruit students who have been disabled once. However, I am also very fortunate, because I think that Shenzhou University is one of the 10 top colleges that are inclusive and unbiased. It is what really belongs to me, and it is what I should really go to. Sorry everyone, I still have something to do. That's all for the interview. Finished. Zian ran away. Haitang just sent a communication message. Make an appointment with him. Talk about joining Shenzhou University. As for what I said just now, what kind of trouble will it bring to the Federation Imperial City Starship Academy? Zian chuckled. Happy to hear. Inside the Sky City restaurant. The city in the sky is the real city in the sky. The restaurant is built above the Earth's orbit. Rotates as the Earth rotates. The restaurant is very large, and there are many starports for starships to dock. The place Haitang agreed upon was here. It's also one of the most luxurious restaurants in the solar system. Here, you can eat almost 0.07% of the food in the universe. What? Do you think 0.07% is less? That's the whole universe. In order to hold 0.07% of the small amount of food in the universe, Sky City Restaurant specially rented a satellite as its own food warehouse. Hashtag. This is still the result of Sky City bragging. Actually, according to speculation, the ingredients in Sky City may not even account for 0.007% of the variety of ingredients in the universe. The universe is so vast. Park the brilliant number. Enter the restaurant. Look around. The entire restaurant is made of super composite glass. The kind without any metal. No matter from which angle you look, you can see the scenery outside. Underfoot, the azure earth is exuding a gentle and charming halo, dotted with clouds, making it even more beautiful. This mother gave birth to trillions of Earth Federation humans, whether it was hundreds of thousands of years ago or hundreds of thousands of years later. Always so gentle and beautiful. Zian followed the 02 reception robot and came to a box. The boxes in Sky City are still made of glass. But you can't see the inside from the outside, but you can see the outside from the inside. However, in order to prevent the field of vision of non-box people from being affected, the outer glass of the box uses real-time screen projection technology. In other words, it seems like there is no private room here at all, and you can clearly see the scenery on that side. Congratulations! Su is the #1 scholar. As soon as Zian came in, Haitang congratulated him. It seems that after knowing Zian for a long time, she is no longer as cold as she used to be, being thousands of miles away. A little more warmth and popularity. Although he still rarely smiles, the intimacy in his tone can be heard clearly. Thanks. Zian smiled. Haiteng knew that Zian was not the kind of person who liked small talk. It just so happens that she is a person who likes to get straight to the point. As soon as Zian sat down, she said, "I think you know the purpose of inviting you here this time." Zian nodded, "I know." Haiteng then said, "Then I won't beat around the bush. Because you made a splash in the college entrance examination this time, showing amazing results that are countless times better than those in the special recruitment examination. It was not affected at all by the secondary binding, so the school decided. As long as you come to our Chinese academy, we will directly give you special genius treatment." Zian was curious. Special genius treatment? What is that? Haiteng explained, special genius treatment is a kind of special treatment specially customized for you. 1. As long as you enter the school, you can get 2,000 points. 2. You can choose any floating island within the school as your dormitory. 3. You can choose any teacher in the school to be your mentor, including the principal. 4. You can choose 3 subjects for free without paying any points. 5. You can get a set of armor from the popular series of the Universe Technology Group. 6. You can get any 3 pieces of entry-level personal equipment. Having said this, Haiteng paused. Wait for Zian to digest what she said first. After hearing this, Zian was actually quite satisfied. Don't say anything else. Use an entire floating island as your own single dormitory. You can choose any teacher in the school as your tutor. There is also the popular series of armors from the Universe Technology Group. The Fingxing series of armor is the same set of space armor that Qin Fuyue wears. Value: 5.9 million yuan. It was that point that he needed to know more about. So he asked, "What about points? What are the uses of points?" Haiteng explained, "Points, you can think of them as currency during school. In school, money is almost useless. Points and groups are the only currency in school. Don't think that these 2,000 points are very few. Do you know how many points are given to ordinary students initially when they enter our school?" Zian became even more curious. "How much?" 50 points. Haiteng's cold voice continued, "The special enrollment is only 500? So, you know how exaggerated these 2,000 points are, right? Oh, by the way, if we have to calculate it in terms of money, then 1 point is equivalent to 10,000 yuan. 2,000 points is equivalent to giving you a 20 million entrance scholarship. But this is just theoretical. In fact, no one is willing to spend 10,000 yuan to sell 1 point. Because our school has many natural resources that are priceless in the outside world. It is also because the inner courtyard of our school has been fighting on the border all year round, so a large number of spare parts and modules of alien starships have been seized. You are an evolutionist yourself, I believe you can understand the value of these things. As for these things, the school only provides points for exchange. No matter how much money you give them, they won't sell them to you. So, do you now understand the value of 2,000 points? Let's put it this way, even if you sell 1 point for 30,000 yuan, do you believe it will be sold out immediately? Of course, the points are not allowed to be sold. Once discovered, they will be emptied directly. However, the school recycles the points itself, and the doctor will give you 10,000 points to exchange for cash." After hearing what Haiteng said, Zian's eyes became brighter and brighter. He said why the 2,000 points would be mentioned first. Turn out to be, these 2,000 points are the most valuable. According to Haiteng. Then, if I really sell my 2,000 points, isn't it equivalent to 60 million? Of course it can't be calculated like this, and Zian is an idiot to sell priceless treasures of heaven and earth. Especially the spare parts module of the alien starship mentioned behind Haiteng. None of these were the points that caused Zian to suffer a sudden cardiac arrest. As an evolutionist, these parts and modules of alien starships are fatally attractive to him. He suddenly felt, "I feel that joining the Shenzhou Academy is definitely the most correct decision I have ever made in my life." Yes, the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy is excellent in all aspects, and a comprehensive first. Do they have an academy on the border? Will their students go to the border to fight? If you don't go to the border, where do you get the parts and components of the alien starships? Just go buy it. But the price must be ridiculously expensive. What's more, I really joined the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy as a special recruiter. The treatment, can it be as good as it is now? Dream on. That's right, joining China Academy. Thanks to He Shuangsong. No more hesitation. If you hesitate now, you are just a fool. There was no further negotiation of conditions. This condition. Still talking? It's not a real peerless powerhouse, but a super genius who hasn't grown up yet. These conditions. This is already the greatest sincerity of Shenzhou University. Immediately said without hesitation, I am willing to join the Shenzhou Academy. Haiteng 893 smiled for the second time. The first time was when I was in the hospital. This time, it's here. That kind of beauty. If there is a fairy in the sky, that begonia must be one of them. I'm glad you made such a decision, and believe me, you will definitely not regret the decision you made now. Haiteng's beautiful eyes sparkled, and she changed the subject again, saying, that's the case. Then get ready to go in these 2 days. It is quite far away from the Shenzhou star system, and it is about the same in the past now. But Su Zian shook his head and said, I'm afraid it's not enough now. Seeing Haiteng frowned, Su Zian explained, I'm already preparing for the registered evolutionist assessment within a few days. I have already communicated with the association, so it may take a few more days. Su Zian apologized. Haiteng was stunned for a while. She suddenly remembered something. Or, suddenly remembered another identity of Suan. Evolver. She seems to have not yet applied for Su Zian's benefits to the Academy as a Su Zian evolutionist. This status is no worse than Su Zian's status as the #1 scholar in the country. A registered evolutionist under 18 years old. And it's the kind certified by the Evolutionist Association. Haiteng suddenly felt. If the identity of Su Zian is also reported, perhaps his treatment. Will it be raised to several levels again? And over there at school. Are you afraid that you will go crazy? Especially, the principal. Are you afraid that you really won't be able to sit still? I just don't know if the principal's heart can bear it. In the end, Haiteng did not send the news back immediately. Whether it's the news that Su Zian agreed, or the news that Su Zian is going to participate in the evolutionary assessment. Because she wanted to pass the news back after Su Zian passed the examination of a registered evolutionist. Only in this way can we get the best conditions for Su Zian. Don't say that she is from the school. Why should she do her best to get good conditions for Suan? That's because this is a school, not a business. When companies recruit people, of course the conditions are lowered. The school is recruiting, and if they can get Su Zian a good salary, they will fight for it. Because after that, Chen Zian became his true self. The stronger Su Zian is. Doesn't it mean that her contribution is greater? Of course, she doesn't care if it's credit or not. What she cared about was to see how far Suan could grow in the end. Can say that. Forged a good relationship. Coupled with the fellows who belong to the same solar system, the relationship between the two parties is good, and this girl Qin Fuyue is also secretly in love with Su Zian. Help yourself, don't get sick. Evolutionary assessment. In fact, you can start already. Just never had the time. Now that the college entrance examination is over, it's time to put the registered evolutionist assessment on the agenda. Originally learned that Su Zian was going to take the registered evolutionist assessment, and Chen Shanchuan was going to come. But Su Zian declined him. People are polite, but Su Zian can't really let a vice president of a branch who is too busy to run all the way to cheer for him. If he doesn't come, it's not easy for the man named Wang Xian to come alone. After all, it is indeed too far away, he is a scout ship. I still dare not run such a long distance alone. Assessment objectives. Have it already. It was none other than Qin Fuyue. Qin Fuyue went out with Hai Tang to hunt pirates some time ago, and gained a lot of evolution points. During this period of time, her cultivation base has also improved a lot, reaching the full state of 4th rank fighters. Just in time to evolve her Huiyue to the 5th level. It should be said that she is also a real top genius. If not for Zian, she would be the 3rd most talented girl in the solar system. Before the special entrance examination, she herself had been a 4th rank fighter for some time, and now a month or 2 has passed, and she had fought against pirates before, and she had some insights. Especially there are so many treasures at home. Now it has reached the full value of 4th rank fighters, and the real number is normal. Speaking of, except for absorbing the majestic biological energy of Tying Katibo when Zian awakened, he has never touched Tying Katibo again. When I went to Shenzhou University, I used it to cook 2 dishes of current food and drink to make up for my regrets in the past 18 years. At this time, in the branch of the Solar System Evolutionists Association, in the assessment field. The assessment site, to put it bluntly, is actually a large-scale evolution factory. But there are many cameras here, and the whole process is monitored and supervised by the intelligent optical computer, and finally the intelligent optical computer will check whether it passes. Also unable to intervene, Xiong'an personally guaranteed that Zian has the strength to pass the assessment. In fact, if Qin Fuyue took the initiative and voluntarily provided starships for Zian to assess, there was no need to guarantee them. But with the guarantee, Zian can directly exempt from the rest of the assessment. The evolutionist assessment is not just about evolution, but also assesses your knowledge and so on, just like the college entrance examination. Questions will also be randomly generated, but if there are mistakes, just brush them down. With the guarantee, this heavy link is directly eliminated, and the final evolution assessment stage is entered. In the examination room, the Huiyue parked here quietly. Zian, Qin Fuyue, Xiong'an and others were all standing beside the Huiyue. And beside Qin Fuyue, there were 2 middle-aged people, a man and a woman. That's right. They are Qin Fuyue's parents. Only, they looked a little weird. His eyes are staring like copper bells, like 2 old Chinese elves. Suspicious eyes kept lingering on his own daughter and Zian. They always feel that there is something wrong with these 2 people. But there is no evidence. They don't know if there is a problem with Zian. But my daughter must have a problem. Once upon a time, have I seen my daughter talking to a boy with such enthusiasm? Those eyes can't wait to touch Zian's body. But they are not against them falling in love or anything. Be opposed to? Are you kidding me? Their family is indeed a wealthy family in the solar system. But who is Zian? This year's national champion, and he is the unprecedented champion in the country. When their daughter reached out to them to ask for money, saying that she had found someone to evolve a starship for her, they followed her. The person who evolved his daughter's starship was actually Zian. What stunned them the most was Xiong'an, the dignified branch president of the Solar System Evolutionist Association, actually respectfully called Zian his junior uncle. The 2 branch presidents are even more at odds with each other. So, you want us to oppose such a person? Who makes us object to our daughter falling in love with a promising stock like Zian? Come. Let me know who you are. From now on, we are unrelenting enemies. So not only did I not have any objections, I was also secretly anxious. They could see that their daughter was interested in Zian. But Zian, I don't see any interesting thoughts about my daughter. The 2 elders were so anxious that they were scratching their heads. Zian, who had no idea that he had been targeted by Qin Fuyue's parents when they first met, was still asking Qin Fuyue about the evolutionary focus of Huiyue. He said, given that your evolution value is limited, while ensuring the overall rarity quality of your Huiyue, at best, we can only improve the quality of some of its parts. For example, blue rare quality engines, main guns, etc. After removing the basic evolution from the 4th level to the 5th level, these two parts can be evolved to red excellent quality. Su Zian's words instantly attracted the attention of Father Qin and Mother Qin. Qin Fuyue's father, Qin Changyu, the chairman of Qin's transportation in the solar system, looked shocked. Red is of excellent quality? Ah, Master Su, I'm not questioning you, but can you really give Fuyue's Huiyue number the highest evolution to red excellent quality? Several people laughed. There was no need for Su Zian to speak. Xiong'an said with a smile, Mr. Qin, there is no need to be surprised. My junior uncle's talent as an evolutionist. Compared to his talent in learning and Star Wars, it's only higher but not lower. Xiong'an's attitude towards Qin Changyu is quite kind. The status of both parties must be much higher than that of Xiong'an, but how could a man like him not see that Qin Changyu's daughter might become a mistress in the future? Of course that attitude is different from before. Qin Fuyue saw that her father didn't believe in Su Zian's strength. He immediately raised his swan-like neck and hummed, Dad, the excellent quality of red parts is nothing. Su Zian's ship, the brilliant, even one screw, is red and of excellent quality, and it also activates the overall characteristics of the starship. You know, it can activate the overall characteristics of the starship. Su Zian's starship is a truly outstanding starship in red color. Listen to your daughter. The couple were stunned. Especially Qin Fuyue's mother, who was staring at Qin Fuyue with hatred. This silly daughter. A man whose talents in Star Wars and evolution are both ridiculously terrifying. The key is that he looks so handsome. Why are you so complacent? It's you, I jumped on you and started to chew on it. What's this thing still there? Wrong. Leave me alone, I don't have any children anymore. This silly daughter. No, when you have time later, you must have a good talk with Fuyue. This woman must take the initiative after meeting a super quality boy. Qin Fuyue was showing off how powerful Su Zian was, with a smug look on her face, as if she was so powerful. But suddenly he saw his mother staring at him with an angry expression on her face. She was a little confused as she didn't know anything about power. Did I say something wrong? What does mom's look mean? How does it feel? Does she look down on me? That is why evolution assessment begins. After the final decision. Because the evolution value is indeed not enough. Qin Fuyue chose to evolve the remaining non-blue rare qualities to blue rare qualities. Even if they can't all evolve, at least most of them can evolve to blue rare quality. That's much better than just one or two components evolving to red excellence. Su Zian began research. The highest value is the evolution of blue rare quality, which is not a difficult thing for Su Zian. 2 days later. When the last step of evolution is completed, when Qin Fuyue's last point of evolution is consumed. The Huiyue, which has evolved to the 5th level, is finally completed. And the moment it's completed, the intelligent optical brain gave the result. Didi? Su Zian, an associate member of the Evolutionist Association, has completed the assessment of a registered evolutionary engineer. Congratulations on successfully becoming a member of the Evolutionary Association. Congratulations on becoming a first-grade evolutionist. The voice of the intelligent optical brain resounded throughout the assessment field. Smiles appeared on everyone's faces. One by one, they began to congratulate Su Zian. Qin Fuyue was already full of admiration. Qin Fuyue's parents were filled with wonder. Su Zian's talent. Definitely the only one they have ever seen. Never seen either learning, Star Wars, or evolution. A young man whose talent is so terrifying that he is in such a state. The most important thing is, he is as good as his own daughter. It's hard to imagine. If he continues to grow like this, what kind of terrifying achievements will he achieve in the future? Su Zian also took a breath. Also at this time, in his line of sight, a long-lost reminder from the system emerged. Detected that the level of the host evolutionist has been upgraded to the 1st grade, 907, now the evolution simulation of the second grade evolutionist is started. Zian was stunned for a moment, and then he was filled with joy. Really? It turned out that I was not wrong at first. Sure enough, the system will start the next stage of evolution simulation teaching only after the evolutionist level is recognized. What about Star Wars simulation? What about combat simulation? In Star Wars simulation, does the Brilliant need to evolve into a frigate to activate it? Needless to say, the battle simulation should be the same. You have to break through to the warrior level before starting the next stage. But now is not the time to study the evolution simulation of a second-grade evolutionist. Congratulations, my junior uncle's talent and strength are truly unparalleled. Xiong'an, who seems to be elegant, comes up with nothing but flattery. If we say that he flattered Zian in the past, it was just because Zian was Mr. Xia's disciple and was indeed his uncle in seniority. So now, that's it for real and sincerely. Let's put it that way. Even if there is no such important identity as old disciple Xia now, only relying on Zian's incredible talent, he will still do everything possible to have a good relationship with Zian. Zian's talent has a bright future, and it is impossible to imagine what heights he can reach in the future. If you receive a good karma, you may get unimaginable rewards one day in the future. What's more, he has the important identity of old disciple Xia. How could Xiong'an not know what to do? Zian, you are so amazing. You have really become a registered evolutionist. Qin Fuyue was sincerely happy for Zian and hugged Zian's arm excitedly, her expression extremely happy. Zian smiled, "It's okay, but are you satisfied with the evolved starship?" Qin Fuyue's little head nodded wildly, satisfied, satisfied. I'm so satisfied. This appearance, and the decoration inside, my god. Zian, I think you can become a starship designer. As the name suggests, they are evolutionists who specialize in designing starships. It must be based on the evolution master to have the ability to design starships. You're not even an evolutionist, how do you know the best way to design this game? Zian was non-committal. The system does have design simulations. But he used it once during the design of the new Brilliant ship. Maybe it will come in handy in the future, and it will be used more frequently. Nowadays, there is basically no need for design simulation. Aside, Qin Changyu and his wife looked at each other. They all saw happiness in each other's eyes. Especially Qin Fuyue's mother. Her eyes were fixed on Qin Fuyue's little hand holding Zian, and she was finally a little satisfied. My daughter is not too stupid. But this level is definitely not possible. You have to teach her a lesson later. The evolution of your Huiyue is completed. As for me, the registered evolutionist assessment is also over. Zian said, maybe tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, I will follow Haiteng to the Shenzhou star system in the splendid galaxy. You should also go to Dawn Starship Academy, right? Qin Fuyue's happy expression gradually faded away, and she was a little reluctant, but she could only nod her head and said, yes. Actually, I should have gone a long time ago. But I want to spend more time with you, collect more evolution points, and ask you to help me evolve Hui Yongchuan. But now that the evolution is over, you have to leave, then I will leave tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. My parents will send me there. Qin Fuyue's mother rolled her eyes wildly, wishing she could rush up and take Zian down instead of her daughter. If you want to spend more time with Zian, you will die, you stupid girl. Okay, let's contact each other through the communicator when we go to school. Zian said with a smile, and you can often get together in the virtual metaverse and eat some delicious food together. Qin Fuyue's beautiful eyes lit up immediately, then it settled, you can't lie to me. Every month, no, every week, let's go to the virtual universe to get together. Let me tell you, I even bought real estate there. At that time I will take you to eat delicious food. Asai, have fun. Zian nodded with a smile. Go home. Zian opened the system immediately and checked the evolution simulation after opening the second level. Click to see. Good guy. The consumption of wealth in one simulation has increased tenfold. It used to be once at 10 o'clock. Now it is 100 points once. But it's okay. Zian had more than 2,500 points left. During this period, you will increase your bioenergy, enter the simulated world in large numbers, and so on. Almost 700 points have been consumed, and there are still 1,800 points left. In total, 18 simulations can be performed. Enough. Since there are enough wealth values, there is nothing to say. Go in and try it out and see what the difference is with the second product. After entering, it's still the same all-white world. But this time, there are more various parts, and there are also many more high-end parts, which are parts that are only used by frigates, and the most important thing is unlocked higher quality teaching. On top of red excellence, there is a pink perfection. Of course. On top of pink perfection, there is actually more. It's just that Zian can't understand it now. However, the evolution tutorial of frigates and the pink perfect quality tutorial have been started. Also foreshadows. Brilliant number. We have officially entered the era of perfect quality. Say nothing. Zian was so excited that he started simulation learning directly. After an hour of reality, Zian withdrew from the simulation world with empty eyes. The dull expression showed no trace of excitement before entering. In the simulation world, the teaching time is still 1 year. 18. The difficulty of evolving the frigate was beyond his imagination. The difficulty of pink perfect quality is even more hellish. A whole year. You can believe that he simulated and studied like crazy for a whole year. On the last day, it actually failed when trying to improve the quality of the brilliant number. The reason why I chose to use the brilliant number to evolve the quality. It's not that he doesn't want to use frigates. But if a frigate is used, it will be even more difficult. Even using the brilliant number that I am most familiar with to evolve the quality ended in failure. The quality of the brilliant number did not increase, but decreased, from the excellent quality of red to the excellent quality of green. Some parts were cracked and scrapped directly because the evolution plan was not perfect enough. Perhaps the only good thing is that on the last day of the year, the quality of the brilliant ship only deteriorated, instead of turning into a pile of scrap iron or even directly exploding. After all, before this, it was either scrap metal or exploded every time. So, this can be considered an improvement, right? Zian smiled bitterly to comfort himself. It seems. I was really whimsical. Do you think that with the system, it will be easy for you to become a second grade, third grade, or even higher grade evolver? Now it seems. I overestimated myself too much. That's how many people in the universe are. They are all so difficult. Those old evolutionists who are thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of years old. Why do I think I can easily catch up with them? It seems. Epine is really just the beginning of an evolutionist. Red excellence is also the entry point into quality, right? Zian was hit by this incident and felt a little unconfident. Shaking his head, sighed lightly. I thought more than 1,800 wealth was worth a lot. Now it seems. I'm afraid it's not enough for me to fully comprehend the knowledge of the second grade evolution master. Still have to make a lot of money. Think no more. Eyes closed. Start sleeping. The day after tomorrow. It is time to set off for the Shenzhou Academy. This will probably mean that he will not come back to the solar system for a long time in the future. For 2 days, I did nothing and thought nothing. Take a good stroll around this planet that has given birth to you in your past and present lives. Conceive your own star system, next to Neptune in the solar system. A silvery white desolate satellite is leisurely rotating around Neptune. This is Triton, one of the garbage planets in the solar system. Every 1,000 years, garbage will be fully decomposed and degraded. So there is no need to worry about garbage piling up and the planet not having enough. Trash piled up into mountains, including some materials from star shuttles, spaceships, and starships. If you can find some, you can sell them for a lot of money. Then, the garbage star scavengers came into being. The Badian gang, despite its name, is so domineering and in the second place. But it's just a garbage-picking gang, composed of scavengers on Triton. However, wherever there are people, there are rivers and lakes. The garbage-picking gang controls an area, and all the garbage in this area belongs to them. It's okay for others to pick it up, but they have to pay their share. For example, the piece of the 7th-generation star crystal optical brain from the Federal Optical Brain Technology Company that Zian picked up at that time was to be handed over to the Badian gang. But, he kept it all to himself. I picked it up myself, why should I give it to you, at this time? Triton, a garbage area controlled by the Badian gang. Above the Ruby-sh heap, a number of dilapidated spaceships were rummaging through the Ruby-sh heap. There is too much Ruby-sh here. Every day, garbage ships from all directions dump garbage all over Triton. At this time, the leader of the Badian gang, Shogo, was in the spaceship. Gang leader, that's Zian, was he really a scavenger like us before? In the Thin Dog spaceship, a young man's voice asked, with a tone full of curiosity and disbelief. The Thin Dog snorted. He has repeated this many times these days. I even show it off to my friends, family, and friends. Of course. Skinny Go said proudly, my relationship with Zian used to be good brothers. You know we are good brothers. Not only did he scavenge here before, he was also a member of our Badian gang. You just recently joined us, so you don't know. If you don't believe me, ask these old members in the gang, which one doesn't know about this? The Thin Dog's words will make the other party take a breath of cold air. The tone was full of disbelief and envy. I didn't expect you, gang leader, to actually know Zian. Oh my god. He is the recognized pride of our solar system. This time I won the unprecedented #1 prize in the country. I even heard that I am a member of the Evolutionist Association. The 18-year-old national champion and a registered evolutionist of the Association of Evolutionaries. This is so awesome. I'm so envious, gang leader, that you actually talked to Zian. The other party's flowers greatly satisfied Shogo's inner vanity, but at this time a discordant voice sounded in the communicator. Shogo, why are you bragging about your relationship with Zian here? What are you bragging about every day? Zian had a half-dozen relationship with you before? He was indeed a scavenger in the past, and he also came to our Triton. But since when did you and your Skinny Dog become brothers? Who is that? Skinny Dog can't do anything but brag. Let's fight the Tion gang. Upon hearing this voice and his words, Skinny Go immediately became angry. However, before he can refute it, suddenly, curse words burst out from the communicator. Hiss, F***K. Is this a starship? How did this starship come to Triton? Damn it, I know him. I've seen the video. This is the brilliant account. Zian's brilliant account. Holy shit, okay? These scavengers are all uneducated. One sentence spans the universe. But it is enough to express the inner shock. The Thin Dog's lean face froze suddenly. He's just bragging. What the hell, it's really here. Look up. The brilliance has an elegant and beautiful appearance, but beneath its beautiful appearance it hides a wild beast. It's unstoppably intimidating. Skinny Dog, you're fine. Zian's voice suddenly sounded in everyone's communicator. The Thin Dog's face was as stiff as ice. Hearing the words, he forced out a forced smile and responded, okay. I'm fine lately. Haha, I will lead the solar system tomorrow. I just came here to see the places I have worked hard for. You don't need to worry about me and continue with your work. Zian replied with a smile, and saw the 4 engine nozzles at the back of the brilliance. The light blue flames pushed the brilliance forward, and then left straight away. In an instant, it disappeared without a trace. After the brilliant number left for a long time, Skinny Go wiped the sweat from his forehead. But he suddenly laughed again. Look. This bragging capital is here again. Today, we talked to Zian, the brilliant evildoer again. The dazzling evildoer, Zian, even pronounced the name of my skinny dog. With the newly joined member shouting at the top of his lungs, the leader is awesome. The vanity of a thin dog has never been satisfied before. This day, Zian went to many places. They are all places he has been to before. I also said goodbye to several familiar people. Xiong'an, 2 vice presidents, etc. Finally, Zian came to his parents' graves, burned 3 sticks of incense, paid homage, and resolutely turned around and walked out. 0, asking for flowers. This time go. I don't know what year it was when I returned. After all, it was still too small. Maybe it will come back in the future, but at least within 10 years. I'm afraid I won't go back to the solar system again. Because in this interstellar age, humans still have an average lifespan of 800 years. College is no longer 4 years, but 10 years. There are 2 years and 1 semester, a total of 5 semesters. In fact, this is still very short-lived. Especially for bio captains. Don't tell others, just tell Zian himself. Now at the level of a 5th grade warrior, he felt that he would have no problem living 1,000 to 1,200 years. 10 years is nothing. What's more, what should be taught and learned in college can be learned almost in 10 years. If you still can't learn in these 10 years, that can only be said to be your own fault. 10 years later, I graduated. In fact, don't look at it for a full 10 years. But in fact, sometimes I take over a school assignment and go out to perform at once, and I go there for several months. 10 years is really not a long time. Night. Zian had a comfortable sleep in his own home and on his own bed. Take a shower and change clothes. No more hesitation. Get up and leave. He had nothing to pack. I can just buy some clothes and daily necessities when the time comes. What's more, the Brilliance has these supplies stored all year round. At this time, the landing pad of Zingfuli community, next to your own brilliant ship. A huge ship with a length of 1,300 meters is parked here. Such a huge ship occupies almost half of the community. It occupies a lot of people's private landing pad. But no one around him dared to say anything. Instead, everyone laughed. I wish I could stop a little longer. This awesome cruiser is here, and it's the famous Haitang Siren, one of the top 10 geniuses of the Earth Federation. Let's pass it on as long as you want. When Zian came, he saw a funny scene. These people were touching and looking around the Kraken. There are even a lot of people who touch and look at their own brilliant numbers here and there. Zian shook his head funny and ignored them. Nodding towards the siren, he knew Haitang must be looking at her. Then, under the fiery eyes of the surrounding neighbors, he boarded the Brilliance. The brilliant engine started. Kraken, start. The big one and the small one are the pride of the 2 people in the solar system. Finally embarked on the journey to continue the journey. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.